Hey everybody, just I don't know, figured I'd play around with the Move a bit. I'm trying to get stuff set up here so I can see a little bit better. Let's try and get it going. Oh, well, that's not going to help. Maybe I need to do that. That seems good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've just been kind of plugging around, getting used to using the Move, and got back from my travel trip for work, where I was using both of these. So maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But um, I don't know. We'll see what we get for battery life. What do we have on here? I'm probably going to delete some stuff or maybe back it up. But let's see. Hey, Crazy Wabbit, what's up, man? How you doing? That's. I'm trying to see if there's anything worth trying to build on more here first. Yeah. Oh, this one, yeah. I think this one's got, I was playing around with some of the drums. I think it was up top. I was just recording in some loops. I have not upgraded the battery on the P6. I do have this potential replacement, and then I saw some people that's 2,500 milliamp hours. And I saw some people were sticking some like 3,500 milliamp hours and a bit higher. So I was like, if I'm gonna have to snip the end off of the cable, resolder it, and do all that, maybe I'd try and get a different battery. This one I don't use the S1 as much as the P6, so I might put this in the S1. I wish I could. What I want to do though, really, to keep the original battery, is see if I can find out what the pinout is and basically switch this over. You could probably get a tool or just pop off the plastic tabs here and switch it over to a different style connector, but I just don't know what the connector is and haven't researched it enough. So I did a lazy chop here when I did this, so it's it's the same waveform here, and you can hear it's got the like DJ or turntable scratch because I was just recording off of the TP7. So this one, I don't know, this one's kind of fun, but like when you stop it, you'll hear it kind of play out the rest of the way. So anyway, back to projects. Let's see what else we got here. This one was a similar one. I think I just did a backspin on the TP7 at the end there. This one's kind of noisy. This is the one I was playing around with last night. I don't know. I feel like I probably just need to rethink how I'm going about using the Move for making more complete pieces, or just move it into Ableton and play around with it from there. But I do kind of like getting a random set of things. It seems to I'm actually cool with it. Gets you going pretty quick. Hey Dibiasi, what's up, man? You got any fun new toys? You're always like got something cool and new, or older stuff that I'm like, oh man, I forget using that. You managed to pick up any? You got your Move yesterday. Well, I'll give you a few pointers from what I've learned, and if you got questions, feel free. Big thing for me for my workflow that's made a big deal has been to use the loop and just preset however many bars I want to work with ahead of time. And yeah, it's oh, I'm on the right. Yeah, Well, I can move if you want, and then I can flip the camera so I'm looking the other direction or whatever you need. You just let me know. Or I can make myself smaller. If I move myself out of the way, whoop, grab the wrong one. If I move myself out of the way, you can also see that I got the SP there. I am totally in front of the SP. Yeah, so I know I talked about this on a couple of the other streams, but definitely I like this record kind of like on the MPC where you get the recording ahead of time, so you just kind of knock something out. But I do find, like, I'll just do something here. If I do that and then just hit the button, like it will sometimes line up really well, and other times it's just like, hey, there's so many bars going on here that like you'll get like the wrong bars or things won't line up. And I kind of forced it to do this before where like you play that and then I come in, I'm like, oh, I want it to go slower. It doesn't know how to do that. Or no, maybe it will do it. Of course it does it. It's embarrassing me, but the captures like work pretty well. I guess I'm saying is just be cautious for what you get going. But let's do like a drum and bass speed. Capture it. And yeah, this is where it's gonna. It's definitely not 100 BPM. And this is where I start getting like kind of twisted on this. Where I'm like, I don't know how to fix that because it thinks it's 2 bars and it's clearly not. So if I go back, I would say I usually just hit the loop, say it's 2 bars, and get the metronome set up correctly. Yeah, we'll leave it on. Hit like, I don't know, 160 or something. And only play the first half. And then from here, because I at least know what I have going, I can now, if I go switch to another track, say I want to just do 1 or 2 bars. I've been getting into the habit of pre-setting up what the loop length is, because this is where I've definitely found if I just start noodling around, the capture just doesn't do what I want most of the time. Well, that's no good. Wow, I don't care for this sound much at all. Let's see if I can work with it though. I'm trying to try to. That's way too low. What the heck are we in for a scale? Let's get out of pentatonic. And I can already tell this drums are gonna. I need to start adding some more to it in a second, but let's go minor and what the heck? We'll go F sharp. Get out. We got 2 bars for now. So even if I didn't play it great, I can at least drop it in and know that I have that amount of bars set. You're stopping it. Maybe that's a different habit I need to try and get into. Does it have sustain chopping? When you say sustain chopping, what do you mean? Like I do, like I know what I would call like lazy chopping, where you just play some content and then just tap the pads to get the chops. Is there something different that you are looking for, or is that kind of in the space? Because I know like what I have done. Go back to the first track. Where's my little utility belt here of cables? Here we go. I can, for example, I know all these are 160 BPM. So I think they are, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I did the set, but I can load up the TP7 here, the OP1 out of the way, and let's I don't know if you could do that. I bet there's like some tricks. All right. So let me just check. Whoop, wrong button. Yeah, these are all 160 BPM, which I set this to 160. So what I was, not what you're looking for, but you can totally do something like this. Right, if I get this going, it will record in there. You probably want to stop it, but now it sounds like the start points are a little off. But you can totally grab stuff real quick and start messing with it. And you can also undo that and get your original sounds back if you don't go too far. I don't know, so it's not quantized quite right. I haven't figured out quantizing 100%. Let's note repeat. No, this one's quantized. Just says clip quantized. That note's off. No, that's not going to be how you. So I'm going to have to come in and adjust the note length, probably. Well, you're going to have to, I've had some people ask me some P6 questions about looping. One of the last videos I just recorded, somebody was asking if there's a way to get the metronome to run, and I have not been able to figure that out. I don't know if you or anybody else has any tips. I just basically did a video and was like, I don't think you can do it without using an external metronome. And I haven't found a good way to get the, I mean, I know if you start and stop at the right time, or you've got really good timing, you can certainly start and stop, turn the loop on and get it looping. But if you're doing something else crazy, I definitely should learn what the heck you got going. Or if you're like, hey, go get my last live stream. If you got it, I'll definitely check it out. Oh, it's not going to do it. Oh, because I was in record mode. This is a thing. I'm just going to have to use it more. Why do we have 16 bars? That was crazy. All right. I guess if you're not a jerk, you can line it up all right. I just need to be probably more cognizant in counting how many bars I have played or what I'm doing. Something just is, the timing on something there is wrong. Let's mute everything else. I think that's just the hat. What do we do to get timing here? I haven't figured that out yet. I know I've seen attack, hold, decay, stretch. I thought there was a option to get timing adjusted. I don't know how to adjust the clip 50% quantized. If I hold it down, Just changing parameters. All right, there's some other stuff I got to learn here. Plenty to learn here for me. Yeah, I was going to bring this with me on my trip last week for work, and I ended up just bringing the M8 and the P6 and had a complete blast doing all kinds of crazy little things. The P6 and the M8 just work so well together. I do wish that we had other options for the 16 levels here besides just pitch, like a filter or like the MPC style, like velocity or filter layers. That'd be like super cool. I was actually thinking you could probably do something neat where you key in on one of the knobs here and then just spread that across and do some fun stuff, but I don't know, we'll see. What else do we get for random sound here? Oh. So let's try the ARP, see if I like it. That's not ARP. The ARP is note repeat. Do we just need to set it to a different style? ARP up, down, random. All right. Started off. What's your favorite thing about the Move that you've seen so far? Anything stand out for you? Have you tried backing up using the web browser or anything, or do you have any of you guys have the cloud options? I don't have the Ableton cloud. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it or not, but it certainly seems handy. Kind of like dotted. So apparently I copied the drums without realizing it. Gotta stop just pushing buttons and hoping for the best. Guess it's an opportunity to drop some extra Gonna do it on the one. The metronome again. Oh, got an extra clap in there. All right, so I'm not using any of the drums up top. Let's actually try and do something goofy here, and we'll see. Yeah, I found that it's actually pretty efficient for file size so far. Obviously, if you start recording a lot of your own samples, it's gonna go crazy, and you could presumably go for a lot of 4-minute long backing tracks or something, and then have a really large file. But given what it knows how to reference the different instruments in there, it's not too bad. I haven't figured out how to load things from Ableton over for either the wavetable or what's the other instrument called? It's gonna be one of these. Just up top. These are just types. We don't want to load Shy Guy. I'm sure he's cool. Shift, redo. That brings it back. Okay. Cool. X is usually delete. And groove, metronome off. Tempo. Quantize. Oh, this is where we get the... I don't know that I want to do this, but since we can undo, let us. Still sounds fine. Let's go here. Something does not sound right. It just sounds like this. Is it this one that's late? Oh, I did shift. Okay. Let's fix that. I guess it was just that one note was off. But I could hear it and it was driving me nuts. Let's bring back the bass. This is not working for me. Delete this whole thing. Go back, delete. It's gone. I just need a different bass sound. All right. The master has said use stop. All right, we stop, then we'll play it out. If I start playing, well, the velocity on these are a little whack. I just took it off. All right. That one is not the right hit. We need this one to come in. That was early. Gotta delete that. Start over. Yeah, just to test out the Wi-Fi connection, I just backed up the 4 demo songs and then never listened to them and just deleted them so that I don't know. This thing's got plenty of space, so it's not like you need to do that, but all right, what else we got? I got this track muted. Do we like this? Let's see what else we can do in here real quick. That's hard to hear. I don't want to. It's too high. Let's see what else we get for sounds. Kind of dig this. Alright, I'm going to do my cheater way and just set it to 4 bars. I'm going to start over. Don't need the double tap there. That's going to take it. We need 8 bars. maybe. The P6, I don't know. I see a lot of folks on the forums hating on the SP404 Mark II now, and I think the P6 just helps validate how cool the SP404 Mark II has been for the last 3 years. I do dig the new features and functionality, and I don't think that we're going to be able to get those. Well, I hope they bring some of it over to the SP404 Mark II, but I don't think we're going to get most of it because we only got the 3 knobs. It makes it super tough to work with, but... So I don't have a Digitact, so although I appreciate that you can nudge things similar to a Digitact, I have never actually owned any Electron devices, so I know on OPZ you can hold a note and then you can use the plus and minus to nudge. Is it similar to that on the Move or something else? Which secret menus? The P6 secret menus, man? I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there to go dig into. All right, like this. I like this pad, but it's a little much. What do we need? Bring it down volume-wise. No, I'm doing the whole thing. Hold this. There we go. Track volume. Makes sense. Or I'm doing the wrong track. That would also be why I'm like, I'm not hearing it change. Here we go. Nope. They're still doing it wrong. Track. Hold it for a little bit longer. Okay, it's similar to the OPZ. Oh, let me intentionally make a new track then. Let's just do some drums here. I'll just record 1 bar. So like I've got these. I don't want them here. Does it just move? Oh man. So you actually go the whole way. Not that I would normally do this. This would be nuts to do, but okay. Hell yeah. I'll take this over how you do it on using microscope on the SP404 Mark II, because that way is terrible. Because you can't go below another note you get blocked by another note there. Actually, let's just I'm gonna put one here. Let's see if we can actually... Do we get blocked or can we go past it? Hell yeah. Okay. So, that is cool to know. I don't know if you're asking me or anybody else, but in general, for the Move so far, I think I would probably like it to get... I don't know that they'll do it, but I would like to have shift... Like a shift mode for tracks would be really cool. So you can get a second bank of tracks. Having 8 tracks, I think, would be a huge deal for this. I think it would just, it would get a lot of people to calm down on how many tracks there are. I do know that they've said that the processor's got more than enough juice to drop in a lot of simultaneous samples playing at the same time. So I suspect it's possible. I actually don't mind the 4-track. I tend to try and go with fewer tracks myself anyway, so I don't mind the restriction of the 4 tracks. I don't mind it on the OP1 or anything. And I do think that there's a lot of room for doing some cool stuff. I would like to see a couple more drum types, because I think you get an all or nothing. So you're either getting choke groups on everything in the bank, or there are no choke groups. So I think having an implementation like on the like the MPC or the SP404 Mark II, where you can choose pads to choke or mute each other, would help you out a lot. Because right now if you want to have like a open hi-hat and a closed hi-hat and you want them to choke each other or like have like the cymbals or crashes choke, you're basically using an entire track to cause that to happen, which is kind of I mean, it just goes into like, if you only got 4 tracks, it's a harder thing to kind of work with or deal with, or then you're having to go do a ton of programming work to have the gates only open a shorter amount of a time, where you just normally would just reach for that mute group. I would like to see, I actually like having the 16 pads here where you just kind of get what you get. And then you can have this option of having like these, what I would call like on the MPC, the 16 levels. I think having that breakout is super smart. I would like to see it do more than just pitch. So I don't know how they would do this, but when you come in and, which one is it? Yeah, 16 pitches. Actually, let me go track because I haven't messed with this. Yeah, it's either on or off. It would be awesome if instead of it just being 16 pitches, you could do like a shift, hold shift down or something and be able to change it, whether it's detune, start time, hold, length, playback effect, frequency, or also like on the MPC you've got like a 16 levels for velocity. I think that'd be for people that are like not comfortable playing like how they're gonna play like softly versus really hard, or having to deal with the pad curves and stuff for velocity. Being able to have 16 levels on this other half would be super handy for velocity, super handy for whether it's a low pass, band pass, or high pass filter. Just stuff that will let somebody come in and really quickly change up what they're doing for sounds and reuse just what you get in the 16 banks. Would be awesome to actually get more than just 16 samples. I don't know if they'll do that, because I understand the more that you put in here, the more people are going to ask for, but I do think having more would be handy. I think the Ableton, I don't know that they'll squeeze it in here. It's got the same problem as the Akai MPC, where there's just not the processor oomph to do real-time time stretching. But I think even if you just had like, you could only do it on one track, I think that would be huge. What else? I don't know. I'm curious what like some of these sub buttons that don't light up do, or if they have any plans for them. I'm sure they do since they have icons on it, but I like the sound of it. I wish there was a way to make your own patches a little bit easier. I think you can do that a bit better on the Push 3 standalone. I don't know, like I'm not looking for a full Ableton Live experience, I guess. To me, it's just throw in a bunch of stuff that would be really nice to have, like hopefully simple to implement, but really good features that would allow you to do things, even there if it looks kind of hacky in Ableton, and kind of keep going. I think obviously if you had 8 bars and you had to hold like shift to flip or something, that becomes another problem, but I think just having 8 clips is fine for, I think, just sketching out stuff and getting things going together. I would like to see the potential to have these clips also load different instruments, because I think that would be a huge deal. And since it's already like all of firmware internal storage, it should be able to do that pretty well without, I mean, you can change songs so fast. I gotta do the right one, but I mean, like you can just switch over to another track and it's just immediately a completely different set of sounds. And like it didn't load. I mean, obviously you have to worry about your timing and things if you're trying to do a live set, but it would be nice to have this be able to do it in quantized and not just as you kind of hammer on it, but to be able to say, hey, change this set to another set when it is like on a bar or at the end of a pattern would be pretty nice. I have a love-hate relationship with entering names using the value knob on the SP404 Mark II, but I do see value and be able to come in here and let's say like, oh, I want to change this name from set 13 to something more obvious without having to go back to the computer or do something with it. But I don't know. I just rambled a whole bunch of goofy ideas that I would like to see. Anybody else have anything like you guys would like to see? I'm certainly curious how. I guarantee you guys, some of you guys, if you got one or had it, you've used it more than me. I didn't use it at all the last week because I didn't bring it with me on my trip. I was out in Santa Clara for a tech conference. It was fun, but I didn't see the sun for 2 days until the fire alarm went off and we had to leave the convention center. So, I don't know. Let's go start. I've been having fun with this like roulette of just see what you get. That drum is, I don't want to say terrible, but it sounds like it's seen some things. Okay, well, that's not gonna do what I want. Actually, maybe I should, I'm gonna consider having the note repeat on. Let's go. Okay, it does do after touch, so we can adjust the pressure for velocity. It's kind of nice. Move that over, which means these two probably need to move over. Now we've just changed the rhythm completely. Let's go back. Sometimes you think you're making it better and it turns out you make it worse. I can understand now being fully sold because it depends what you're looking out of it. For me, I don't know. I am not somebody that I probably should get back into like music theory and stuff. So for me, I like using the cheat code of just setting a scale and having something I can play and be reasonably confident that it will sound well enough together, besides just kind of going by ear. Can make things a little bit trickier for me from time to time, but I really did like the Push 3 when I got it last year and ended up selling off my Force, which I kind of regret. I actually kind of wish I had the Force, but given that this is, I don't know, a third to a quarter the size of the Force, this might be closer to what I'm looking for out of that, especially if it can learn how to, if it can pick up how to do like record like a looping track or something, kind of like the SP404 Mark II, but maybe a little bit better. I do understand the people thinking it's too simple. Like it is. It is kind of simple, but I think that there's a lot of depth here to explore. Because like you can just like tap something, you can just record like whatever note, and you just all of a sudden you're like, I have the pads here, and I can go transpose up and down and do like really cool stuff. So if I remember correctly, we want to double this. So we just doubled it to 2 bars. I don't know where I want this crash, but I want a crash in here. Maybe that feels good. And the thing that I do like about this is you can knock something out. I mean, you can do this on other systems as well, but because you've got enough parts per quarter note, you can be off the grid. And as long as you just kind of practice it, you can do this quick dump with the little square button. One day I'll remember, what is it called? I don't know. But it's kind of like the MPC retrospective record, except it just drops it into the bar framework that you're in, unlike the MPC where you could just go record 64 bars and then you go dig through and figure out what the heck it was. So I think this is actually in some ways nicer for, I'll say, a bit more organic play from just like how it's felt for me. That was not right. I don't know if we have a good way to view the volume either. It would, I think, let's go do it again. So from here, if I hold this down, I can see track volume. It would be nice to have like a mixer kind of view where I could adjust this and see where we're, like what's the dB that we're hitting? Because if I wanted to actually come in and mix this, I'd probably come through, assume everything is, maybe it's a bad assumption, but assume everything is, I guess, in volume relative to each other for the kick and snare and stuff. I would probably try and come in, not mute, adjust the track volume, because we don't have anything to know, like, is this hitting negative 6 dB or 0 dB or whatever? I have to, again, I got to do it by ear, which is fine, but it would be nice to be able to come in, get that, and then be like, okay, let's go do the bass similarly. I don't know if my headphones or my ears are lying to me about the bass, especially if I'm just using a pair of headphones I'm not familiar with, in which case, if I want to get the bass, I might make it too loud without realizing it. And that's a super, with that crunchy, crunchy kick makes it a little tougher. Let's, what do we need? We want, let's convert this over to, we don't have a filter here. Channel EQ. This is just a gain. That's not what I want. I want a straight up low pass filter. Did they give us one under saturator? No. I'm just goofing around at this point. Dynamics, fast now. Yeah, I don't even, for a mixer, I don't even think we need like anything super crazy. Let's see, I know that there is under here somewhere. I found a filter. not on any of those buttons. They squirrel one around here. Saturator. That is messy. I swear I've seen it. Because I could have sworn I saw something that was like, hey, you switch between filter types and stuff. I guess I gotta check the manual, but yeah, I do think they could fit a 4-track mixer. Like even under, like, if I look here, under the OLED, they could go for like a really tiny bar or just something. I think there's enough room. The angle I'm looking at it might be hard to see, but hey, Bobby, have a good one, man. Peace. Yeah, I do feel like there's enough buttons on here to do most of what you want to do, and there's not I haven't seen too many things that feel like they're really deep for features sub-frequency. Oh, maybe it's playback effect. Is that the one I want? The cable out of the way. All right. So I want to switch this. Not stretch, not loop, not pitch envelope, not punch. Okay, that's not what I want. I mean, being able to adjust the start time's fun. Maybe I fever dreamed it. All right. Maybe it's a different sound too. Yeah. There's also some room. They could learn some of the stuff from the Deluge. I don't have one, but haven't seen videos of it. It might be cool to see the different, have like a view where you can see the tracks light up for what your volume is or something. Like a brightness based on the EQ. I don't know, like an EQ band or something. I wonder if I should try moving over to chopping up a sample or something. I don't have anything. Do I? Do I have anything to chop? What's the easiest way to get something over here? Yeah, the tables on the M8 are they go very fast and you can do really cool stuff with them, but I found just it's helped me learn them a bit more, just slowing the stuff down and getting a sense for like, oh, okay, if I wanted to go at this speed to change this effect, go for it. If you go look at like what Mikey 303 or some of those other guys have done though, they've done like crazy, some like super crazy things where it's gets very, very random what's going on. Well, try to think through while noodling. What's the easiest way? My phone has all the tracks on it. Does it? Check my iPad. Let's see if iCloud saved me. It may not have. And if anybody wants to laugh, if they're out there, here's a picture of my daughter from years ago where she decided to go cross-eyed and ruin, maybe not ruin, but mess with a perfectly, what would have otherwise been a perfectly good picture. Let's see. We're looking for the audio share app. I am willing to bet, yeah, there's nothing there on the iPad. It's all on my iPhone. Are you? I think you got the Model 2, right? Did you get a Model 1 or Model 2 for the M8? I can. Let's switch over. I'll give this a break. We'll switch over to the M8 and the P6. See where we go. So I'm probably just making sure all my stuff works here since I got back. And this is usually where the MPC is, but I have decided to, I removed my Eurorack stuff again so I could actually make room for the MPC to be up behind. Why are we getting noise there? Maybe just turn it on, I'll be fine. Where did I put the P6? I think it's under here. Yeah, the Model 2 battery life is bananas. In and out. And just need one more. I thought I had it over here. Oh, nope. It ended up on the side. We go out to in, and we'll power you on. So if you get a Model 2 and a P6, maybe we'll do something fun and cool. If not, maybe you'll figure out some new things. We're gonna go new track. Let me zoom in a bit. I should be able to use zoom technology here. So no, it's not perfect, but let's see if we can go a little bit bigger. I could always make myself smaller. No sound. So first thing you want to do is usually take your input volume up. So now we can record off of the P6 if we want to. Well, we can hear it. Play stuff. We could record if we want. And yeah, Pete, Pop-Tart Pete, if you're like, hey, can you do something? Or how do you do this? Feel free to drop a question. I will see what I can do. But usually the first thing I do, I should just make a template for this, but I just do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then I create a FD and FE. The reason why we do those is just so we have some patterns that don't do something, or they do something very specific. So the FE basically says don't play any notes and let whatever was going before continue. And the FD, we want a special pattern to basically turn on any notes that might be on off so that we don't kill a retrigger. And from here, we want to do a kill command. Want kill 0. And the reason why you want kill 0 is if any effects have been put in place that are going to just keep running, we want to stop them. And that will make sure that if we transition from like a chain 10 to 11, for example, for like a drum track, if we have a retrigger, that retrigger could potentially go on forever, and the FD will say stop it, and the FE will say keep going. The reason why I made both of these 4 bars is on the M8, you can have different bar lengths for chains, but if you want everything to kind of flow in 8 or 16 bar chains either. But if you look here, you can go from 1, actually I guess you can technically have 0 in here, like nothing for a phrase in your chain, but you can go from 1 to 16 phrases in length. And excuse me. And my first phrase is 0. So I'm just going to make a phrase here on track 1 that is number 10. It is I usually go kick, snare, hat, miscellaneous percussion, and then start going like bass, whatever, into the other 4 tracks. You can certainly mix and match, but I prefer personally not to do it so I can stay organized and know what the heck different things are. And if I want to use, we'll use the P6 to be our sampler for the drums. I know I've got drums here. I did the good old step sampling so that each one of these is like a little micro sample. So we don't want sampler, we want MIDI out. I am then going to set this to be just MIDI, so it's not going to use the USB-C. This is just a habit I do. If I decided that I could also hook up like I could bring in the OP1 and hook that up over USB-C, and then I could have the M8 control both the P6 and the OP1. Pretty powerful. Then you can do the 2, and then you can kind of go from there and do other things. I mean, we could technically do multiple MIDI tracks just off of MIDI because you get the 16 channels, but I'm not a big fan of MIDI chains usually. I'm going to go to channel 15. This is my A channel, the auto channel that allows us to use splits over the keyboard effectively for whatever is the currently selected sample. And I probably want transpose off so that I don't, when I go start thinking about scales and things, I don't have this being impacted by transpose, which can then start moving notes around. So first thing you'll note is the kick drum is going to be the the default C4. I think it goes up to C6. Yeah, here we go. So if you're going to go set C6 as your first note, and then you can see we're going through the other samples. Otherwise, if you're below, it's going to be just that kick drum. And if you go above, then it's going to be whatever your last note is. It's just going to keep playing it. So if I want like a standard like house kick here, And while this is going, let's make this louder. I won't go super crazy, but seems negative 10 dB on OBS. Should be good. All right. I want this to be an nth, do nth, so that we'll do every 4 times we go through, we'll hit that extra kick. So by doing this, I've only used one phrase, but we basically used that one phrase to create a 4-bar loop. We can add in some other fun things, like I like doing ghost notes from time to time. So we can do that where we come in and add in some of these ghost notes. Now I don't want this to trigger all the time, so what I'm going to do to make this make it more dynamic would be a chance. And now with this, it's got only a 20% chance of doing that ghost note. But if I drop these in, we'll hear it's going to change the rhythm a bit without doing like again, like we're just still in one phrase here. So we're not having to do a whole lot of heavy lifting. We could jam more in here if we wanted to. Like instead of being a chance here, or we could still leave the chance, but like we could do a retrigger where, let me do this. This is like a pattern I like to do frequently, is let's turn that down, go 3. So it's not going to have a very high percentage chance of doing this, but what's basically going to happen, I got to set this to be more than 0. So basically what it's saying is it's got a 20% chance of playing the note, and then the retrigger has a 20% chance of happening. So I don't know, it's in the 20% times 20% is something like, I want to say 4% or something. Pretty low chance for it to play the note and retrigger, but it could actually retrigger the previous played note as well. So the math can get a little hokey, but yeah, I just heard it. So it can happen. It's just super low chance. And that's been a way that I've just been using probabilities to play around with, basically create a 1-bar phrase that has a lot of potential to create a lot of different things. So if you want to create a new phrase, instead of just dropping in the last one, you just come in and double tap edit. I'll just work with one though. Snares. We'll put on the 4. Here we go. 4 and C. So hold shift and hit play, and we can play everything. And I don't know, maybe we want to put, I'm sure we got a clap in here someplace. So it will preview the sound if you just tap edit. Oh, we got a clap here. We could throw in a clap and again like do like nth, where we say we want this on every 4th note, and then maybe this one's just a chance. And whoops, let's make these louder. We'll keep these ghost claps a little bit less likely. So even with just this, which I know isn't like super complicated, because we're programming it, all these drums here, they're all going to be linked to the parameters that we have on the P6. So like I can very quickly, very hands-on, change these sounds. And if you adjust the start point, it's weird because you kind of like get this weird shuffle. You're basically, it's doing equal slices, kind of. And if I move it, you can hear it's like it's just shift. Like we have all these sounds. I haven't figured out what the exact measurement is, but it's basically just kind of we've moved off of the grid. So you got kind of like these weird sounds sometimes. Where I found like usually like hitting like 1 or 2 because you're cutting off a good chunk can give you just like a different sound. It can be worth playing with. And then you can move like the end. As you can hear, like it starts cutting out some of these other sounds or changing them into different ones. Whereas the kick will stay the same. So like from what I've found, you can do like really, you can adjust the sound and have like a lot of variety without a whole lot of work. Level is going to do what you think it does, which is just drop the volume for everything. So just an easy way to bring it in or really overdrive the signal. Yeah, I would absolutely. I'm telling you, I mean, I brought this with me when I was out last week and just really was hammering on stuff because you can really get a lot of. The M8 gives you so much power and functionality. Like we haven't even gotten into like doing hats or anything. Yeah, let's go drop in some hi-hat patterns. Rim, I don't know. Here we go. Like a couple of these ghost hits. We'll start doing like some re-triggers here and get like some really, again, like just evolve. Like, and this is only 3 patterns. Like there's like 3 1-bar patterns and we could just get a lot of variety out of it real quick. So like we can, again, we can do like a chance. Maybe I want higher. We'll do like a 60% chance for these ghost hits. We'll do let's start looking at re-triggers. We'll do one there, one here. We'll do a low chance for a re-trigger. So we're gonna go, well, maybe it won't be a low chance, we'll see. We'll go randomize the left parameter. So basically this is gonna make it so that every time we trigger the re-trigger, it's gonna go a random value from 0 to 3. So it's a 25% chance of any of them for like crazy rapid versus slow. Do I want to move this over? Yeah, we'll move this into the chance so that we get a chance on the left and right. So basically what I've done is Shift Option allows me to select multiple settings at the same time. I just hit Option to select it. And we're going to go Shift Edit to paste. So I'll delete these. Oh. We'll grab that. All right, so if I go do chance here, instead maybe I want 100% chance for this to hit. I don't know. But we want the re-trigger to have like a 20% chance. If I do this right, it should work. There we go. So it's not like always hammering in on that re-trigger. And then maybe I want this to always do the re-trigger thing like we had. So I'll put that in here. I mean, it's kind of extreme, but it's going. And then, yeah, you can go through, and if you're thinking song mode, you can make variations on these patterns where you just say like this, it's playing exactly what I want, and then you can have like the randomness in here and not in here. I'm trying to see if there's like anything here. What else can we do here that might be fun with this sound? Do I like it? Actually, that was kind of cool. Now, the problem with this will be, maybe it's not a problem, if you decided you wanted to use tables for this, because they're all using the same instrument, I think there's some ways to tell it not to use the same instrument, but you basically end up, if I go into the table, they're all sharing the same table. So if I go edit it for one, I have to be conscious that I'm editing it for all of them. But you can certainly do like some cool stuff in tables, even to tell it different things. Like we could come in here and, well, I didn't mean to do it like that. Nope. Oh, no, not velocity. I could come in and basically I just forced everything up a note, which is why it sounds crazy, but you can come in and like kind of, if you are prepared to do it and you know like different values, you could even have one kit that has like every 8 chops, it has a different sound, and get it to do all kinds of crazy stuff that way as well. For this, what do we want to do? Yeah, let's do this. We'll do, it's not slice, is it? It's we want pitch. We want to change the pitch on some of these because we want to change the note. I think I got to go down to instrument. Yeah. There we go. Start doing crazy stuff. This is additive. So if I actually leave pitch by itself, we've got our default sound, and I could start doing this RNL again, which basically just randomizes the option to the left. So we could just have it play something different for all of these. It's kind of annoying. I wouldn't probably do this. But if you knew like you had 2 sounds that were similar side by side, you could certainly do like a random, so you just go 0 or 1. Maybe when we go down 1. Too weird. As I said, I wouldn't normally do this. All right, I'm deleting all of this stuff. There we go. What can we do here instead that might be fun? We can do pinch bend. See if that sounds neat. It's going to pinch bend everything. Might be fine. Or it's not sending it at all. What if I wanted what else could we do here? We do a bunch of nths, so it just plays sometimes. I don't think slide's gonna work. Let's say we could ARP it. Actually, that's not what we're going to do. It's going to send over the ARP command and then cycle through whatever random sounds are there. Probably not what we want. From here, we start thinking about a bass. We could use whatever's over here, but I can only play the note by itself. I can't pitch it because basically we have to use another MIDI channel, which we can do. We'll do this. So if I go to MIDI out, just MIDI, and go to 11, and then you're just basically playing whatever's on the pads. So that was, well, a side effect of this, as you can probably see, is if you change your bank, because because you're changing whatever it's also switching the sampler that you're playing. It's going to switch over. So I'm going to stop playing it just so I can hear what we got going. And this is all good if you know what you want. You can hear some of these samples. I could presumably match the BPM here, but the problem will be I can't pitch that sound up while it's playing, because if I go switch over, it's now playing whatever I have selected, and we go super crazy. So this is an area where you're going to be kind of prepared ahead of time what you're doing. I don't even know what. A thing I found is if you double tap play, you can kill whatever's going on. Yeah, it is super fun, man. I would say you can. There's just like a lot of really quick stuff you can do on the P6 that is a little bit. You can certainly do a lot of this stuff in the M8, but it takes more time to program it. You don't have as many. Like you can, if you hold edit down for some things, you can use the touch screen. But we don't have any like knobs or anything to control it, so you need an external controller to do a lot of the crazier stuff. But I found that like for me, this has been enough to just kind of go do things with it. Like that. The problem is I can play this and I can even send the note off. I just hit double tap that, but I can't pitch that note up and down, so I would have to record multiple versions of it or get into the granulator. So you're kind of stuck with whatever you're using, if that makes sense. Or at that point, you're now into the, just start resampling into the M8 and doing it with the M8 sampler. Get more appropriate sound to go with this, almost like overly filtered acid kind of sound. And this is just it playing the drum track through using the pad there, but sometimes it's fun to do because you can get some just different things. Really, oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, so the other option would be is to switch over to the granular, and I don't know what's loaded into granular right now. Let's see, well, it's not gonna, why is it not sending anything over? MIDI channel 4, oh, did I set it? For video, I set this to something different, so we gotta go shift menu, get to G channel, and set it back to 4. I set it to 9. I set it to 9 so I could show how to use the keyboard on the P6 to control the M8. That's right. So now, though, we can program in like pitch sounds or do weird stuff with like the arpeggiator. Let's see what we get going here. We want arc it's just throwing out a lot of sound. I think I would need to adjust the end time. Because I don't... Probably playing too fast for it. Or it might just not be a good sound for it. But yeah, you can definitely do some quick, crazy stuff here. So, oh man, OBS is saying I'm dropping frames like crazy apparently. Well, sorry if that's made a weird video for folks. Anyway, that's some of the as far as I've gotten for weird stuff with the M8 and P6. I do need to record more drum kits onto the P6 for sure, so I can have some stuff to switch between. But, it just is a quick way to be able to grab stuff. Those re-triggers are a little harsh. What do we got? Filter here. I guess we tame it a bit with just filter. Probably gonna drop. I gotta take my dogs out and do stuff. But everybody, thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys had some fun. And sorry if I was a little not quite in focus. I don't know. I gotta figure out my setup some more as I keep moving stuff around. I get it where I want, and then I move stuff. It is a terrible problem. Anyway, thanks guys. Have a great day. Keep having fun. Keep making music. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.